好，请您
Please
围绕这句话，请您解释一下您的含义。
the remark you have written down.
I don't know how to pronounce in Chinese. In Korean Chinese, 共존 공영. This means co-prosperity.
说得很准，很准确。
We live together for common prosperity. I thought President Xi Jinping's main message was co-prosperity. This is a community with shared future, which I said. This is a far-reaching one, and I am very much inspired. 40 years ago, China was one of the poorest countries, most restricted, completely closed to the international community. As President Xi said, with a determined and consistent policy of opening up and reform, China has reached to the stage of where China is enjoying and respecting as one of the two largest economies. Now, in terms of foreign reserve, in terms of trade volumes, I think China is now almost number one country. Of course, the whole economic scale is still you have to go much, much more in the future. In that regard, President Xi Jinping's strong commitment was a reassurance of Chinese continuing with the wider opening, much more committed to reform in every aspect of your industries, societies, particularly when it comes to financial sector, insurance sector, where a lot of negative criticisms have been leveled against China. While international community, particularly Western world, they have been very much appreciated, and they really wanted to expand their business relationship with China. But while China has been committed to sell much more of yours to other countries, but you have been mostly closing, and there have been a lot of bureaucratic red tapes, and the question of accountability and the transparency and rule of law. Those have been the concerns of international community. When I say that the Chinese success has not been without criticism. Now, the moment that has come now, the Foreign Minister Bob Carr said that 40 years ago, Deng Xiaoping announced this reform. Now, after 40 years, I think this is a second such a big commitment for much wider opening and much reform. All the systems must be compatible with the international standard, which have been commonly used. If I may say that, in fact, China, while having opened to the world during the last 40 years with reforms and opening up, I think China has been the biggest beneficiary of free trade system. In 2001, if one asks me a question, what is the most important reform and opening of measure? I think I can tell you that that was joining the WTO in 2001. That was a commitment by China that you will play the fair game, abiding by all these rules and regulations of international free trade system. Through this, I think you have become the biggest beneficiary. You are now the number one trading countries in the world. But with this second statement today, very historic statement by President Xi Jinping, I'm sure that this will be very much welcomed by international community, and this will be very much appreciated by international community. Now it's a question, how sincerely, how truly a Chinese government will make sure that all what President Xi Jinping has committed today publicly will be carried out in a due process. That's what I'm asking China continue to do. As a former Secretary General, while serving at the United Nations, I have been working so closely with the Chinese government. I have been really trying to work with your government for common prosperity. That's why there is no country, no single country in the world who can live alone. That's why we have to live together. When there is no country, there is a saying that no country is an island. You are not living in an island. We have to live together. Otherwise, we will sink together. I am very much happy and inspired by what he committed today. Let us work together for common prosperity. Thank you.